Honorable Chairperson for her words or remarks. Thank you.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I wish to welcome the commissioners, the councils, the media, and the general public upon the resumption of sittings of this commission. I wish to thank everybody for the patience and the understanding of our short recess, and I would use this opportunity to call on Honorable Sila to lead us in the Muslim prayers, and Honorable Remy Joyner to do so in the Christian prayers before we commence proceedings. Thank you so much.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وآل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد برحمة اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق الناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord God, we continue to ask for your guidance as we begin a new chapter from our recess. May your Spirit continue to guide us in our deliberations, and may you never forsake us, neither forgive us, neither forsake us, and also grant us wisdom so that we are able to pursue your cause. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Sila and Honorable Sila and Honorable Joyner. Let me just quickly state that on the last adjourned date, we had the auditor, the audit, yes. When we went for recess, before we went for recess, we had the last witness, who was the Director General of at the Ministry of at the Directorate of Internal Audit, Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mr. Cherno Eso, who was given evidence. And I am in receipt of a letter dated the 6th of July 2023, indicating that he is out of the jurisdiction and is seeking the permission of the Commission to excuse himself from concluding his evidence, which to that effect the Secretariat conveyed our approval as the Commission to allow him to go for the official duty that he was scheduled to attend, which he has gone to the meeting he was scheduled to attend, which he has gone to do so. So on that note, we've got another witness, and I will allow the lead counsel to call in the next witness we have, and then we can proceed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Commissioners, good morning. Mr. Registrar, could you invite the next witness?
Good morning, Mr. Witness. Welcome back to this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils. Please sit down, and may I remind you that you are still under oath. Thank you.
Mr. Jallo, good morning, and welcome back.
Good morning.
We will hand you over to the lead counsel. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, Mr. Jallo.
Yes, good morning.
It's good to have you back. I believe you were you were asked to provide certain documents to the Commission, which you now have available.
Yes.
Very well. I will hand you over to my co-counsel, who will have conduct of today's proceedings.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
It is good to have you back.
Thank you.
Can you guide us as to what documents you have brought?
Yes, I've brought a copy of the budget line for the Local Government Service Commission, which was demanded by the chairperson of the commission.
And then?
And then my appointment letter as chairperson of the Local Government Service Commission, which was also demanded by yourself. And then the demotion and the deployment letter for the Deputy CEO of Kanifing Municipal Council.
Okay.
Then a response letter to the Permanent Secretary from the lawyer or legal representative of KMC to the Permanent Secretary regarding the demotion and the deployment of the Deputy CEO. Then a letter sent to the ministry, to the Honorable Minister, to the Permanent Secretary from the Commission, requesting for the Honorable Minister to revise and reissue the regulations governing the Local Government Service Commission operations.
Very well. Is that all?
And minutes of 28 December 2022, where the issue of the then CEO Senabu Martin Sonko issue was being discussed at that meeting. Then another minutes of the Commission of 9th May 2023, that was the first sitting regarding the former Director of Finance of BCC, Mr. Ablai Nyang, and the former CEO of KMC, Pak Khalifa Sanyang. In total, there are 7 in number.
Are the documents in its original form?
Whether they are?
Are they in its original form or are they photocopies?
Photocopies.
Photocopies.
Yes.
Where are the originals?
The originals are at the ministry.
Very well. Honorable Chair, we will want to have the documents in its photocopy form as identified and brought by the witness to see whether we can apply to have them tendered. Please.
Very well, Council.
Honorable Chairperson and Commissioners, I apply to tender the recurrent budget detailed estimates of expenditure. It has no date, but it has a code number 2221144 in evidence as an exhibit.
Council, can we be guided as to the admission of the photocopies? Can you put to the witness why he could not avail us the original copies? Which,
absolutely.
you could have peruse and photocopy, and if they need whatever for their files, they could have kept the copies. When we are done, they could access the originals.
Yes, thank you.
Because these documents are going to be subject to, you understand?
Very well.
So can we just identify the documents?
So all the documents are in their photocopy form. Let me ask the witness again. Yes, you were asked to bring these documents, but you brought photocopies. Is there any way we can have the original?
Sorry. For some of them, maybe we may have the originals. Like the one sent to KMC, the original went to KMC. The letter from the commission to KMC, the CEO. But the one we sent to the permanent secretary also, the original should be there at the ministry.
But normally you must have duplicates of originals. For example, if you have sent a letter to KMC or the permanent secretary, you must have a duplicate of an original in your office.
Yes, those are the ones I used to photocopy.
Yes, so we would want to have the original documents of all these ones that you have brought today.
Then for the budget also, this is in a booklet form, and the relevant section was what was photocopied. And we don't have the full national budget document. That's where we can have the original of the budget line.
Yes, for the budget line we can understand, but Madam Chair, it appears as if generally the best evidence rule would be to have the original documents for the commissioners to admit same. So for the purpose of today's proceedings, is either we ask that the witness be discharged and brings back the original in the subsequent adjourned date, or we proceed with other matters related thereto, and then he can subsequently bring the originals. But I think you were advised to bring all these documents initially.
Yeah, but not in original form. I was not informed about that.
Okay, the ones that he cannot produce the originals, he can get the copies certified. My issue is with this first document that you have asked us to look at, pursuant to the fact that we may eventually admit the document. What is written on the heading of this document is handwritten, and the reference from which it is, copied from is what is written on this. And for us to be able to admit this in evidence, we must see the document and be able to cross-reference what was written here from the main document, from the main source document. So therefore, we could allow him, you could check the documents you have. The ones he doesn't have the originals, he could get these ones back and get them certified. The ones he can get the originals, we can admit this, and then he could bring the originals and we replace them. Or in any case, if you have any further issues with this witness, we can proceed on that, and then we put on hold the documents until he comes back tomorrow. We will give him a short period to put in these documents, and we can conclude with him.
Yes, thank you very much. The purpose of the proceedings today is just to dwell on the documents that he has brought. So therefore, this discussion will be primarily centered on the documents that he has brought vis-a-vis the demotion letters, the transfer letters, and so on and so forth. So basically, most of these documents, there should be originals because they should be in its duplicate form. For the ones that the witness may not have the original, that is in relation to probably the budget line. I agree that the witness can bring a certified copy of its original. So probably my advice would be to have the matter adjourned and ask the witness that he brings all the original documents tomorrow and certify the ones that he does not have access to in relation to the originals.
So what we can do in this circumstance, given what you have explained, we could admit these documents and he can make an undertaking to bring the evidence by tomorrow, failing which we will expunge the evidence that he might have given pursuant to these documents that we will admit.
Absolutely.
Yes, so you could tell him to make an undertaking to bring all the original documents, and for the ones that he cannot produce the originals, he certifies the photocopies and produces it to the commission.
Does that mean we are going to now admit all the photocopies for now?
Yes, but go through the documents and allow him to tell you which ones he cannot access the originals so that he can certify them.
Yes. You have brought also your appointment letter dated the 26th day of September 2022. Is that correct? Yes. That as well is in its photocopy form. Do you have the originals?
Yes.
Do you have it with you?
Yes, I have the original. It's not here, but I have the original.
Okay. Can we have the original?
No, I don't have it with me here, but I have it at home.
Yes. If you are asked to bring the original by tomorrow, will you be able to bring the original?
Yes. But that one is with me already. It's
very
at my
well.
disposal. I don't have to go for it elsewhere. It's already under my custody.
Madam Chair, and I applied to tender an appointment letter of the witness, Momodo Jallo, dated the 26th day of September 2022, into evidence as an exhibit.
The letter of appointment from the Ministry for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, the Quadrangle Banjul, dated the 26th of September 2022, with reference number LM 35/131/01 in brackets 82, with a caption appointment to the Local Government Service Commission, is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/MG/007.
007?
007.
As the court places. Madam Chair, may I apply to have the exhibit be shown to the witness? That same exhibit. Yes. The reason why you were asked to bring your appointment letter is because you've made an argument the last time that you were asked in your appointment letter that correspondence is from your office or from the local government area council should be channeled through the office of the permanent secretary. Is that correct? Now, can you run us through where it is stated in that letter?
Yes. What I want to draw your attention, in fact, I've observed that this one is even in the original form.
Very well.
Yeah, the appointment letter is the original one, in fact. It's not a copy.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll look into that.
So I go to, okay, like, after I read the whole letter or where the relevant?
Where the relevant?
Okay, that is, in the performance of the functions, the local government service.
Can you guide us which paragraph?
That is just below, that is 1, 2, 3, the third one.
The third paragraph?
Yes.
Please proceed.
Yeah, in the performance of its functions, the Local Government Service Commission shall, according to law, conform to standards established by the Public Service Commission. Pursuant to this, the tripartite arrangements between institutions, the Personnel Management Office and the Public Service Commission will serve as a basis for the relationship between the councils, the ministry, and the Local Government Service Commission. Suffice for the above, all matters emanating from council and other bodies for the Local Government Service Commission shall be addressed to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands and Regional Government. The Permanent Secretary shall in turn forward all such matters to the Commission for the Commission for consideration and decision making. In revised order, all decisions of the Commission shall be forwarded to the Permanent Secretary for conveyance to appropriate bodies.
So, going by what you have read before this Commission,
yes.
It is stated in your appointment letter,
yes,
that correspondence is from your commission or the reverse order, which is from the local government service or local government area councils, should be channeled through the office of the permanent secretary.
Yes.
So, what do you see with respect to the deposition of the permanent secretary, who testified or gave evidence before this commission that, in fact, it is the commission that authorizes the permanent secretary to act as an intermediary in relation to receiving communications?
Not this commission anyway.
So you are saying that is not correct?
It could be correct maybe with other commissions, but with this commission, no. Because in my appointment letter, before I even start, I cannot discuss the arrangements when I'm not even appointed.
Yes.
Because since this was stated in my appointment letter, clearly indicates that this commission never said that to the permanent secretary. In fact, I was notified of this during the time of appointment.
Very well. But then you have had the opinion that this arrangement is in fact not the best arrangement, based on your earlier testimony.
Yes, we could have better arrangements. Although it can be good, but it must be subject to so many things anyway.
Now, you also brought a letter,
yes,
demotion and redeployment of one Kajali Jammeh, dated the 29th day of May 2023. Kajali, I believe, is the deputy CEO or was deputy CEO at KMC.
Yes.
Yes, Madam Chair, I applied to tender a demotion and redeployment letter dated the 29th day of May 2023 from the Public Service Commission through the Permanent Secretary into evidence as an exhibit. So again, we will need you to bring the original of this document.
Yes.
By tomorrow.
Okay.
the letter captioned demotion and redeployment addressed to Mr. Kajali Jawara from the Ministry for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, the Quadrangle Banjul, dated the 29th of May 2023, with reference number LM 35/131/01/temp, that is TEMP in brackets 3, is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/MJ/008. 008.
As the court pleases. May I have the exhibit be shown to the witness? Now, can you guide us through that letter in relation to how you arrive at the decision to demote and redeploy Kajali Drame, the then CEO of KMC?
It's Kajali Jane.
Jane, yes.
Okay, this decision, we reached this decision after a series of communications between the Commission and Mr. Kajali Jane, and at some point he was even invited to the Commission, and we had a hearing with him, and then he was given a warning that he should hand over on or before a particular date, of which he failed to comply, and as a result, then the Commission met again and took this disciplinary measure to demote him and also to redeploy him.
Very well. As of this current state now, where is Kajali Jane?
Kajali, I understand that he is still at KMC.
Do you know why?
Because I've seen a correspondence, that is the letter from their solicitor, addressed to the permanent secretary, questioning the legality or the legality of that decision, and also for the permanent secretary conveying the decisions.
Is that the letter you refer to from Senghor Law Practice?
Yes.
Very well. Will you be able to avail us with the original copy by tomorrow?
Yes, I will try to contact the office of the permanent secretary because they are having the original one.
Honorable Chairperson and Commissioners, I apply to tender a letter from Senghor Law Practice addressed to the office of the permanent secretary, dated the 31st day of May 2023, headed demotion and redeployment, in evidence as an exhibit.
The letter with reference, the letter from Senghor Law Practice, dated the 31st of May 2023, with reference number 62/KMC/Volume 2 /43/SLP is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/MJ/YS/009.
As the Commission places. Now, may I apply that Exhibit 009 be shown to the witness? You now have in your possession the demotion and redeployment letter you've addressed to the Deputy CEO Kajali Jammeh.
Yes.
And the reply you've received through the Office of the Permanent Secretary from Senghor Law Practice. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, can you take us through the reply from the legal representative of KMC, Kanifing Municipal Council?
Okay. I read the whole letter.
You may, please.
Okay. This is from Senghor Law Practice, reference number 62/KMC/volume 2/.
You may just proceed.
Council, may we have, so that we gain time, since we have a lot of documents to admit, maybe we will just ask him to look at the relevant portion on the letter and refer the Commission to those.
Because as it appears, with respect to this letter, in fact, I realize every paragraph is very important for the Commissioners to notice. It goes through attacking the legality of the demotion.
Okay, he can quickly peruse.
Yes. So louder, please. We want to.
Yeah, okay. Then the letter was written on the 31st May 2023, addressed to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands and Regional Government, and it says there, sir, demotion and RA reference redeployment. We act for Kanifing Municipal Council. Your letter dated the 29th of May 2023, which was addressed to the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Council, has been forwarded to us with instructions to reply to same. Our instructions are to reiterate the provisions of Section 119 of the Local Government Act, which provides that the Local Government Service Commission shall be independent and shall not be subject to the direction and control of any person or authority. As stated in our earlier letter of 14th day of April 2023, your ministry does not have the authority or mandate to send letters on behalf of the Commission. We have thus advised our client to disregard any communications received by them from the ministry on matters of staff discipline purportedly under the instructions of the Commission. Further, as stated in our letter of 14th April 2023, the Local Government Service Commission does not have the power to take any disciplinary action against any officer of the Council in the absence of any recommendation made to it by the Establishment and Appointment Committee of the Council, pursuant to the provisions of Section 37 of the Local Government Act. There is also no provision of the Act which mandates the Commission to redeploy the Deputy Chief Executive Officer or any officer of the Council. We have advised the Council and the Deputy Chief Executive Officer that the instructions contained in your letter of 29th May 2023 are without authority or unlawful, and that same should be ignored. The Deputy Chief Executive Officer has therefore been instructed to disregard your letter and continue to fulfill his mandate at the Council. We are further instructed to pursue necessary legal action should you insist to pursue such illegal acts. Yours faithfully, Yasin Senghor.
So, in effect, what we have is you have taken action as a commission to demote and redeploy the deputy CEO.
Yes.
Mr. Kajali Jan, is that correct?
Yes.
And then you've channeled that communication through the office of the permanent secretary as you have been instructed.
Yes.
And as soon as you have done that, you've received a letter through the permanent secretary challenging two authorities. Number one, the fact that in their opinion or in their position, the permanent secretary should not act as an intermediary between the commission and the KMC, which is the local government area councils.
Yes.
That is in paragraph, the third paragraph, wherein they said clearly, your ministry does not have the authority or mandate to send letters on behalf of the commission. We have advised our clients to disregard any communications received by them from the ministry. Is that correct? Is that correct?
That's their position.
Yes.
Yes.
So the second position is they also, in fact, questioned your authority as a commission in the fourth or subsequent paragraphs in the area of having even the power or the authority to demote or redeploy a staff of KMC. Is that correct?
Yes, according to.
So, in effect, what they said was that is the last paragraph of the first page. There is also no provision of the Act which mandates the Commission to redeploy the Deputy Chief Executive Officer or any officer of the Council.
Yeah, that's what they said.
So in effect, what they were saying is you acted beyond your powers to try to sanction any disciplinary form of the people, the very staff that you have appointed.
Yes.
So now, what do you say to that?
No, I think they are just trying to create some delays or excuses. But for me, the Commission have the mandate to discipline the Deputy CEO. In particular, was appointed by the previous Commission, and his appointment letter was even written from the Office of the Permanent Secretary.
Does the area councils have the authority to appoint CEOs or deputy CEOs?
They don't.
So do they have the authority to redeploy them?
They don't.
Do they have the authority to sanction or discipline them?
They don't. Only the junior officers that they appoint.
Only the?
Junior officers that they appoint. That's category 1 and 2.
Category 1 and 2?
Yes.
Very well. Now, in your testimony or your evidence before this commission, prior to us going on a break, prior to us going on a break, you have told us that in the matter of the Kajali matter and Senator Martin's Sonko, you have decided that you will do a direct correspondence from the commission to the area council. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that was the first letter that we sent. That I had to engage the permanent secretary. Can I go ahead, or you are?
Please, yeah, please proceed.
Yes, I engaged the permanent secretary. I told him, for this letter, since you are a party to it, we want the letter to emanate directly from the commission to KMC. And then I was able to convince him, and that letter was written direct to KMC. But even with that letter, they disregarded.
No, but I am talking about the fact that when we interviewed you,
yes,
in your last appearance, you've said clearly,
yes,
because you felt that the Office of the Permanent Secretary or the Ministry of Lands were either an interested party in one way or the other in relation to this, decided that you will communicate directly with the local government
letter, and that particular letter was signed by myself.
What is so unique about that particular?
About the interdiction. So when it came to the commission and we took a decision, I advised him, since you are directly, and then he accepted. And for that letter, we wrote and I signed, and it was.
Is the demotion and the deployment not emanating from the issues of the interdiction?
Not directly.
What do you mean when you say not directly?
Then the ministry, if I can recall, wrote to KMC, you see, reminding them that they don't have the authority to interdict these people, Senabu and Co., without the approval of the Service Commission. So there was a push and pull. The matter is even at court, if I can recall. I think it's
and redeployment of Kajali. These are all one compound issue. They are one and the same issue. Is that not correct?
Yeah, they are linked.
It's not that they are linked. It's just one and the same issue involving the same individuals and the same matter.
Yeah, but at the time of taking that decision...
Am I correct to say they are the same issue?
Well, for me, I take it as they are linked.
Very well.
Yes.
Now, why did you demote and redeploy Kajali Jammeh?
Because he failed to adhere to the directions of the Commission.
And what were the directions of the Commission?
For him to hand over.
And is that not the same thing? The same thing we're talking about. Because this one and this is one of the same problem or issue. That is why you arrived at the demotion and redeployment of Kajali. Because Kajali, as far as you are concerned, is not abiding by your direction. Is that correct?
Yes.
Exactly. So let us not try to separate these issues. It's one and the same issue. My point now is, in that very issue, you have informed us that the Office of the Permanent Secretary or the Ministry of Local Government Service, Local Government Area Council, is in fact a party to these issues, and therefore it will be best to communicate directly to KMC, which you did not do in this.
That was to convey the decision of the interdiction. That was the only reason why we said that we want to do that, because since they have been pushing and pulled with the ministry, and they even went up to court. So we said to bring sanity and to make sure that at least we write directly to KMC on that matter at that time. It was only meant for that letter.
Are you saying that the issue of the interest or the purported interest by the ministry ceased to exist after that letter was sent?
Yeah, that's my belief.
Good. So now, you were also equally asked to bring the letter transferred in Senabu Martin Sonko.
Or maybe that was an oversight. I did not record that, but I can still bring it.
No, but you were asked, you took notes on those on that day, and you brought all the documents that you were asked to bring, except the one that involved the transfer of Senabu Martin Sonko.
No.
Why did you not bring those?
I did not even have that in my notes.
No, but you were asked. You were in the commission when you were asked to bring the document. You said, you gave evidence and said clearly that Senabu Martin Sonko was transferred. Is that not correct?
Yes.
And I have asked the question as to what brought about the transfer.
Yes.
And you said it was an independent decision taken by the commission. Is that not correct?
Yes.
And we've asked that you bring the letter transferring Senabu Martin Sonko. Did we not ask you to bring the letter?
I can't remember that. Anyway.
You can't remember that?
Yes, but I can still bring it. But I can't remember that, and it's not in my notes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you bring the letter tomorrow, which means you will have to appear again and bring the letter tomorrow?
Of course, I think I can do that.
Good.
Yeah.
So now, as we speak, the conclusion or the ongoing issue is that the Deputy CEO continues to work for KMC, is that correct? As the Deputy CEO?
That's my understanding anyway, because I did not have any communication from the Office of the Permanent Secretary informing us whether he have moved or otherwise. But for sure, I think that he is still there.
So what happened after you have received this letter dated the 31st day of May, 2023, Exhibit 009, in relation to Senghor law practice, questioning your authority and power to either discipline or demote the Deputy CEO or redeploy?
Yeah, this letter was sent to the address and sent to the Permanent Secretary, and the Commission Secretary did not receive this letter until the 20th of June. That's the time the Secretary received the letter.
20th June?
20th June, if I can recall, exactly 20th June.
You're saying...
But the permanent secretary minuted it on the 6th of June, you see, for the attention of the commission. But because of the, I don't know, the bureaucracy at the office, the letter did not get to the secretary until 20th.
So you're saying it took almost a month before you received this letter?
Yes.
And
it coincided, I think the PS also traveled, but even though he minuted it on the 6th, according to what the letter.
Did you see the minute on the 6th?
Yes, I saw it.
You saw it was minuted on the, where did you see that?
At the ministry.
So if you have seen the minute, you must have had access to the letter.
Yeah, I see. What I mean is, when I saw the letter, it was minuted on the letter on the 6th by the permanent secretary for the attention of the commission. And then the commission secretary received the letter on the 20th of June, you see. So when he informed me that he had received the letter finally, then I went to the ministry to check the letter, and then so that we can come up with our next action.
When were you informed about the letter?
The letter, I think I saw it last week.
My point is, again, it took almost a month before you've had access to the correspondence from KMC.
Yes.
And do you think that is an effective system?
It's not at all, because I was even making follow-up. I will call the secretary, make follow-up so that we have this letter. Though it coincided with the permanent secretary traveling to Saudi, but finally he ended up receiving the letter. But after how many days?
So on the 20th, you have received the letter. Did your office take any action in relation to that?
No, not yet.
And why is that?
Because when the letter was received by the secretary, there were some activities that were going on. I think the secretary was on track, and then the Tubaski, and then I had two of my members who are also sick, you see, so we could not.
Did you sit from the 20th of June?
Yes.
Did you have any sitting till date?
No, not yet.
Now, let's just conclude on the issue of this letter. In relation to whether you have the powers to either redeploy or discipline staff that you appoint, I will refer you to Section 118 of the Local Government Act. Nice. Is in volume 5, cap 3301. Yes. Where in subparagraph 3, it states the functions and powers of the Local Government Service Commission. And they are: A, to make appointments to offices in the local government service; B, make provisions for the overall management and efficacy of the local government service; and set up general and uniform guidelines for appointment, promotion, and discipline. Do you see that?
Yes.
Now, do you think that it is you don't have the authority to discipline or redeploy staff that you appoint?
We have the authority.
Thank you. So now let's move on. You now also brought other documents.
Yes.
The one dated the 5th day of May 2023, titled "Request to Revise Current Issue or Current or Issues New Regulations," and the reference is LGSC/001 Part 3, bracket 40. Where is? Do you have the original of this letter?
It should be at the ministry.
Yes. Can you bring the original tomorrow? Will you be able to bring it tomorrow?
Yeah, after break, I will call the secretary.
Will you, how you do it, to be honest,
yes.
Really, it depends entirely on you, but will you be able to bring it tomorrow?
I'll endeavor. They are all, not all the documents are at my disposal, but I will endeavor to bring them.
Mr. Jallo, you are the chairperson.
Yes.
And it's not a matter of endeavoring.
Yes.
We either will admit these documents based on the fact that you will make an undertaking to bring the original, or we will ask you to bring the original itself. So which one will you prefer?
Better to?
It's either you make an undertaking to bring the original tomorrow, or we will suspend this issue and you bring the original itself tomorrow.
No, we go ahead. We'll get them. They are the ministry.
Will you bring the original tomorrow, Mr. Jammeh?
Of course, I'll try and bring them.
Thank you very much. Madam Chairperson, I apply to tender a letter from the Local Government Service Commission to the Permanent Secretary with the heading request to revise current / issue new regulations, dated the 5th day of May 2023, signed by the Secretary of the Local Government Service Commission, Governments D, in evidence as an exhibit. And can you please also hand over some of the documents you have to the clerk?
They are here.
The letter dated the 5th of May 2023, addressed to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, the Quadrangle Banjul, with reference number LGSC/001, Part 3, Folio 40, and signed by Governments D, is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/MJ/DG/010.
Ask the Commission. May we have Exhibit 010 to be shown to the witness? Yes, so this is the letter you have said, you have highlighted your queries in relation to the regulation, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you just guide us through the relevant paragraph where you have outlined your concerns?
Okay. This letter was written on the 5th May, addressed to the Permanent Secretary and marked very urgent.
Yes.
Request to revise current or / issues new regulations. Either to revise or to issue new regulations. I would like to draw your attention to some concerns raised at its recent meeting of Thursday, 4th May 2023, where commissioners observed with grave concern certain deficiencies in the Local Government Service Commission regulations of 2010. This is affecting the operations of the Commission and therefore requires urgent attention and appropriate action. Further, I herein refer you to Section 1741 of the Local Government Act 2002 as amended, which reads, "The Secretary of State may make regulations for the better carrying into effect of the provisions of this Act." This clearly empowers the Honorable Minister to revise or issue regulations as and when necessary. This is necessitated by the fact that the current regulations are quoting the Local Government Service Act, which doesn't seem to exist, and therefore its legality could be questioned or challenged.
Very well. That's all right. So in that letter, you highlighted your concerns in relation to the regulations.
Yes. and further advised the Honorable Minister to liaise with his counterpart, the Minister of Justice, for further advice.
When did you say that it came to your knowledge that the said regulation was in fact not based on any act?
Yeah, it came to our knowledge earlier than this, but then we were searching for the act all along. So, but we've contacted many people, but we could not trace the act. And during this meeting, we said it's better to write formally and request for the Honorable Minister to revise or to issue new regulations. And whilst we were looking at the act, we also saw this relevant section of 174.1, which we thought could be the basis for issuance or to revise these regulations.
When you say earlier than this, what do you mean? How early was that?
Yeah, this was some 2 months before this. We knew that there were issues.
And this letter was written on the 5th day of May, 2023?
Yes.
And you were appointed when?
In September.
Which year?
2022. But we received some of these working documents around November, December, and even some of them 3 months back.
Very well. You may return that exhibit. You also brought minutes of meetings of Local Government Service Commission dated the 28th day of December 2022, which was on a Tuesday.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And you said that is the one that you have discussed, the issue of Senator Martin Sonko. Is that the one?
Yes, it's one of them.
Where are the originals of these minutes?
They are the ministry.
They are?
With our secretary. Yeah.
Louder, please.
They are with our secretary.
Can you bring a copy of the original by tomorrow?
Yes.
Very well. Madam Chair and the Commissioners, I apply to tender minutes of meetings of Local Government Service Commission dated Tuesday the 28th day of December 2022 in evidence as an exhibit.
Councillor, can you put them in a bundle because you have another one which is dated?
Yes, we have two meetings. Very well. So the one on the 9th day of May 2023 as well is minutes of Local Government Service Commission. So you also have original copies?
Yes.
Very well. Please bring them tomorrow.
Okay.
We apply that the one dated the 28th and the one dated the 9th of May 2023 be admitted in a bundle as an exhibit.
The minutes of the Local Government Service Commission meeting dated the 28th of December 2022, held at the conference room of the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Employment. Sorry, let me take that again. The minutes of the Local Government Service Commission meeting of the 28th of December 2022 held at the conference room of the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, the Quadrangle, and the minutes of the Local Government Service Commission held on the 9th of May 2023 are hereby admitted in evidence in a bundle and marked as LGC/MJ/LGCSC in brackets M/011.
As the Commission places, may I apply that the bundle exhibit 001 be shown to the witness? Yes, you've said that the minutes of the 28th of, is it 28th of
December?
December?
Yes.
But then the one before that, is it the 9th of May?
That is May.
9th of May.
2023. The May is 2023.
Yes. And then the 28th is 2022.
Yes.
Yes. Can you said therein you have discussed the issue of cerebral matters.
Yes. You know, during my testimony,
right,
I made mention of we started investigating the corruption allegations. And then we were informed that the Commission of Inquiry is in the making, and then it would be a duplication of efforts so that we cannot just hear it, and it's one of the reasons why the Commission is to be formed.
Yes.
So, and you wanted evidence of that, whether the discussions took place.
Yes.
Yes, and this is the evidence that we on this meeting, we started looking at the fraud allegations on this meeting date.
Yes. Can you refer us to the relevant paragraph as well? Or page?
Yeah, here on page 2.
Page 2, yes. Please proceed.
Okay, page 2, the last paragraph.
Yes.
Where it said, thus the Commission, in an attempt to come up with its recommendations on the way forward regarding the situation at hand, would need to look into the following. 1, the interdiction of the CEO and others, the inspection report on the KMC fraud allegations dated October 2021, setting up of the Commission of Inquiries by the Ministry, and a copy of the summons from KMC to the High Court, and the 2 court rulings regarding the allegations by the Mayor and Deputy Mayor by the CEO. The Commission observed that it is solely responsible for Council staff only and not the policy arm of Council. That is the Mayors and the Chairperson. Then we are requesting for some documents also. That is the next paragraph. The apology letter from the CEO and Director of Finance. Then the court rulings were mentioned earlier. Then the minutes of the directors meeting regarding the issue, and also the guarantee letter to Ajib Bank.
Yes. Can you turn to page 1 with respect to the agenda for the meeting?
The agenda for the meeting was the opening remarks, adoption of the agenda, review of the previous minutes, interdiction of Seinabu Martin Sonko and AOB.
Where is the where in the agenda did you see in relation to the fraud allegations against Seinabu Martin Sonko?
No, it was not mentioned in the agenda, but whilst we were presiding over the meeting, we thought that
it came up.
Yes, we thought that we need to do the fraud allegations also. You see, that was why we were requesting for all those documents so that we can do the thorough investigations and to make certain verifications on some of the allegations as stated in the report.
So we
are trying to review the report itself. You see.
So let's first start with the agenda.
Yes.
Page 1. Then we'll move now to the subsequent discussions.
Okay.
Was the issue of the fraud allegation part of the agenda?
Initially, it was not.
So it is not part of the agenda?
Yes.
Was the issue of the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and co of KMC part of the agenda?
Yes.
Good. Now, why was it not part of the agenda, the issue of the fraud allegations?
Yeah, because we were asked to look at the issue of the interdiction.
By
the ministry.
By the ministry?
Yes.
When you say the ministry, what do you mean?
Yeah, it was both the permanent secretary and the minister.
That asked you to look into the issue of the interdiction?
Of the interdiction.
They didn't ask you to look into the issue of the fraudulent allegations?
No, they did not send us all the details for that.
Did they ask you to look into the issue of the fraudulent allegations?
Not initially, no.
As at the time of the meeting, let's just be very frank. See, this is an evidence gathering commission. You are here as a witness just to state the facts.
Yes.
You understand? You and I don't make decisions here. The commissioners will make determinations. I don't draw conclusions, neither does my lead counsel draw conclusions. So just state the facts as they are and we move. Is that all right?
Yes.
Good. So the agenda. In the agenda, you were asked by the minister and the permanent secretary of which ministry?
Lands and Regional Government.
To discuss the issue of the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and co.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And therefore, it was part of the agenda.
Yes.
But the minister and the permanent secretary did not ask you to discuss the issue of the fraud allegations against Senator Martin Sonko and co.
No.
Good.
Because they said that will be the commission that should.
Now, before we proceed to the subsequent discussions, which gave rise to possible fraudulent allegations, how does the commission develop an agenda for meetings?
Based on the issues at hand.
How do you have issues at hand?
Because the one will have information or letters forwarded to the commission, or issues that are forwarded to the commission. We take those issues and then come up with an agenda for any subsequent meeting. Now,
the issue of you being informed by the permanent secretary and the minister to discuss the issue of the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and co of KMC, how was that communication done? Was it a written communication or was it an informal communication?
It was during a meeting.
A meeting with?
With the Honorable Minister and the Permanent Secretary.
And so you were instructed to discuss this issue?
Yeah, because when we had that meeting, that issue came up. That we've been hearing about the case, and it was never brought to the attention of the commission, of the previous commissions. You see, and we also even raised those concerns. I think issues of such nature should be brought to the commission.
Absolutely.
Yes, and that was the time the minister also instructed the permanent secretary, you see, to forward the issue to the commission so that we look at it. But it was mainly about the issue of the interdiction at that time.
So you were saying at that time you were never given any communications regarding these issues?
Formal communication.
Yes.
There was no letter written to that effect. But it was discussed at a meeting. Yes. That is why in the minutes on page 2,
yes,
on number 2, there's the first paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
No, number 3. where we stress all communications between the Commission and the Ministry should be formalized. And we've communicated this to the Permanent Secretary, because we did not receive the minutes of that meeting, and then we thought they need to be writing to us officially rather than in a meeting form. On that was our first issue.
Now, in the opening of your meeting on the 28th day of December 2022, yes, that is on the first page.
Yes.
It was stated clearly that the meeting began at 11:19 a.m. with individual prayers. The chairperson welcomed all commissioners present at the meeting. I believe that's you, is that correct?
Yes.
And he informed colleagues that this meeting was as a result of the forwarding of the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and Co.
Yes.
on suspected fraud allegations to the Commission by the Permanent Secretary. So I don't understand why the fraudulent issue was not an issue on the agenda to be discussed. Is it not cherry picking, trying to discuss the issue of the interdiction, which was of an interest to the ministry, and not the issue of the fraudulent allegation, which probably was not an interest?
No, I think they were interested in the fraudulent issue. That is why they were pushing for the formation of a commission of inquiry.
No, but you said to me,
yes, yes,
that what you were instructed to look into was the issue of the interdiction, yes, and not the issue of the fraudulent allegation.
It was about the interdiction.
That's what I'm saying. You, yes, have two issues here to address.
Yes.
You have an issue of fraud, and you have an issue of interdiction.
Yes.
You understand? And now, it seems more of a cherry picking, trying to decide which one you have an interest in. And therefore, you had in your agenda the issue of the interdiction, which is seemed to be of urgent matter. But the foreign allegations were never discussed as an issue of an agenda.
No, it was not as an agenda.
Yes.
But it was discussed.
That's what I'm saying. How do you explain that?
You see.
How do you explain that? How do you explain choosing or prioritizing the interdiction and not prioritizing the fraudulent allegations?
No, because we were trying to review the whole documents that were at our disposal at that time, you see. But the issue at hand was about the interdiction. But you cannot discuss the interdiction.
No, the issue at hand, as you were instructed,
yes, was
about the interdiction.
Yes.
As the chairperson of the
Yes.
Local Government Service Commission.
Yes.
Now I ask you the question:
Yes.
was the issue of the fraudulent allegation also
Yes.
An urgent issue to be discussed as well?
Yes, it was also very urgent.
Yes. So these two, the issue of the interdiction and the issue of the fraudulent allegation, which one was more important than the other, as far as you were concerned?
No, for me, I think the fraud is more urgent.
So why did you not put the fraud as a matter of a matter to be discussed in the agenda?
Yeah, but because what was forwarded to us to look at was the interdiction.
No, but that's not correct, because in your opening remarks,
yes,
you said in a minute that as a result, that he informed colleagues that this meeting was as a result of the forwarding of the interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and Co. on suspected fraudulent allegations.
Yeah, maybe it could have gone further to see the interdiction, but if you go further in the minutes,